Rising, and of course all of you Virgo Moon people out there. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting February 24th, 2020. And of course, just remember, if you ever wish to get a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or of course you may also follow the links below by opening up the down bar below. And also, if you hear a lot of noise or anything like that, as I was saying last week to a couple of signs, we do actually have somebody moving away this week and next, so there's going to be some bumping and things like that. The tenant upstairs is going to be moving out. So, anywho, let's find out what's going on when it comes to your astrology this coming week. Well, on Tuesday, we've actually got Mercury, currently retrograde, in Pisces, in your 7th house of closest one-on-one relationships. This is your boyfriend, girlfriend, your BFF, your business partner, your husband, wife, your roommate, anyone you spend or have that close one-on-one tight connection to, in a close conjunction with the Sun, currently in the same area. So there's a bit of a going back in time and a revelation and a revisit going on early in the week. Remember, we use a lot of re-prefixes when it comes to Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun can talk about healing a bit of history as it relates to a close one-on-one relationship, whether it's about closing an old chapter or possibly getting a full story as it relates to some unfinished business. Now, of course, this doesn't always have to go into the realm of a romantic circumstance, but no matter what kind of connection it is and what the story is, the Sun is coming in to heal it and correct it. But all parties involved are going to have to keep an open mind, because sometimes more strugglesome or more difficult than maybe just realizing that there was something off or incorrect in the first place is ditching the story that one has held to ever since. And this could be tough for a partner, it could be tough for you, or maybe it's you two as a couple, or you two as a business partnership, or you two as friends, realizing that maybe there was something that we had gotten wrong. The good news is with the Sun is that this is also a time of easy and immediate correction and being able to actually heal whatever wounds have been left, or even scars that were left from such a past. As we get to Friday, we've actually got Venus, the planet of love, affection, harmony, attraction, and the finer things in your 8th house Aries. 8th house ruling intimacy, as well as self-generated income, passive income, and other people's money. So this could indicate partners' money, things like that, forming a square to Pluto, currently in your 5th house of love, romance, your relationships with your children, and your creative expression. Now, with Venus in the 8th house square to Pluto, it is a very hot aspect, but it's also a bit extreme, because when we have Venus square to Pluto, there is a powerful gesture coming when it comes to either love or possibly even business that does kind of go over the top. Now, this could maybe be a demonstration of affection from a partner or even somebody new, or maybe this is a bold move that's kind of being tested out. And with Venus square to Pluto, it's very hot, it's very inspiring, or when it comes to business and platonic connections, this definitely is something that gets a move on when it comes to a big personal or financial goal or agenda. But what can often happen is that we find that this is something that is imbalanced in the very beginning. Maybe how it's being handled, the effect that it's having on our partner, the effect that it's having on us. It's great, but it's almost like a really, really cool feeling that has a bit of a hangover at the end of it all. So with the square, it's important to know when to temper these things and keep things in proportion. It's important with Venus square to Pluto that we don't let this kind of be a relationship or connection defining moment or gesture or anything along those lines, because it's so intense. There is a chance that something could get knocked off balance for a short while, even though it's by something that is overwhelmingly pleasurable and something that is actually quite enjoyable. So when it comes to your cards, we'll get to that in a sec, but I do want to remind everybody, sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, kind of a tease. Before we get to the cards, that's what I mean to say. For those of you who are curious, your monthly astrology horoscopes for March will be up on Patreon on the 23rd. That's Sunday, February 23rd. And for those of you curious about Soulmate, Twin Flame Talk, Oversoul groups, and really getting the bigger picture on these kinds of things, I would definitely recommend checking out my latest video on the Oversouls and soul groups and things like that. You can find that on the main channel page under the Going Deep playlist, or you can, of course, open the down bar below and follow the links there. So what is going on when it comes to your cards? Well, for your spiritual themes, we've got the Knight of Pentacles upright, which is fairly relevant. You're an earth sign. You actually are the Knight of Pentacles, mutable earth, Virgo. But with the Knight of Pentacles, this is a week where we're starting to see a focus on progress. We're not just kind of maintaining or staying in a holding pattern when it comes to, certain ideals that we have or certain projects that we're working on. Because the Knight of Pentacles, while taking things slow and steady, is still moving. Is still going somewhere. And in a lot of cases with the Knight of Pentacles, we are seeing these no going back points. We're putting our money where our mouth is, but also at the same time, we are starting to implement a lot of new phases and a lot of new agendas that are going to be displacing old lifestyle choices, old commitments, as well as old projects, possibly even old pastimes. Now this week with the Knight of Pentacles, it's important to give things a home. That's a big part of it. When we talk about your spiritual theme, how do you give something home in your life, or a new home in your life? When we talk about new relationships, new jobs, something to do with maybe a creative or spiritual practice, what is going on in your environment, in your routine, in your available time? Are we in a space where the way we hold up our reality is in alignment with the experience that we want to have? The Knight of Pentacles is all about not only doing the repair work, but again, the implementation work when it comes to that. And a lot of Virgos are kind of getting this pressure, especially here early in the year, to just say, screw it, and go for it, because a lot of Virgos are learning this lesson about manifesting in roundabout ways. It's like in my resonance and alignment video, where I'm talking about the real definitions of the words resonate and align in spiritual terms. You can manifest things in a roundabout way. Don't always focus on one element of the thing you're trying to create for yourself and experience. And this week, a lot of you are starting to get a lot off the ground. Now with the influx, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And this is a week where there are a lot of heads up coming your way about impending change, impending alterations, and impending endings. Because with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, we are getting a lot of heads up going on. This could be indicating good news, very positive news. You may be finding out about maybe something coming to an end you no longer wish to carry on with, but also at the same time we could be getting a flush of resources, a flush of funds, a flush of connections that will allow us to sort of maybe jump the gun in a good way. I guess jumping the gun in a good way is sort of oxymoronic, but we managed to get ahead of that new trend. We get ahead of that shift this week. So when we think about the Ten of Pentacles reversed, maybe like the guy upstairs, you were thinking about moving, you were thinking about making a change on the home front. Well, we get a heads up. There's an opportunity that we, might need to do that sooner than later, and we actually come across either the resources, the space, or the connections that allow us to do this much quicker than we actually have to. And it's, of course, yes, Mercury retrograde's going on. I've just talked about it. But it's important that we at least keep those conversations alive and learn to allow ourselves to get ahead of even certain shifts, get past waiting for the end to come. Because the Ten of Pentacles reverse is giving you a heads up for a reason. You can beat the traffic. When we get to the outflux, what's going away, we have the Six of Cups upright. And very much getting rid of the past, very much getting rid of cycles that are on repeat, things in our life that are starting to go away or shift or dissolve, because the outflux of the Six of Cups is, usually saying, look, there's a lot of things this week that we're just not going to start up, we're not going to start over again, we're going to let them be gone and done, honor the experience for what they brought us, but it's time to be focused on creating the new. We're not going to try and start a certain thing or a certain pastime or a certain relationship or a certain lifestyle or a certain routine over again. We're not going to just sit here and watch it burn. We're not going to give it a funeral. We are going to move on. And I think that with the Six of Cups going away, for a lot of you Virgos who've been feeling like maybe a lot of the last, couple of months, life has been too much on repeat or getting a little bit too stuck and stagnant, this is the week where you're going to be finding a lot of alternatives and a lot of ways to kind of get out of a repetitious cycle. For your mundane concerns, the bottom of the deck, for your material wealth, we've actually got the Knight of Cups upright. Somebody likes you. And with the Knight of Cups, there is something going on where there is a bit of a gift coming your way. Somebody is actually trying to prove, or maybe more than one person, it could be a group, it could be a company, it could be a board or whatever, trying to prove their interest in you, trying to prove their attraction to what you do. Yes, for those of you who are single, this possibly could indicate an opportunity to meet love through work, but somebody is trying to prove their interest and support of you through some kind of very personal gesture as it relates to pulling a few strings either at this new office or maybe at this current work circumstance that you're in. Because the Knight of Cups, if somebody's proving their loyalty, their affection, and their care in that way, they are pulling strings, they are tapping their resources, and they are able to maybe not necessarily move mountains, but they are able to find shortcuts or perhaps alter the route you've been told to take. Financially, this could absolutely come in the form of a gift of just resources itself or a resource-filled connection, because the Knight of Cups is a bearer of gifts. As we get to the external, what's going on with friends and relatives and maybe other people in your life, we have the Death card upright, and it does look like there could be, and very cut and dry coming through, the end of a friendship or an ongoing routine that you carry with a friend, or maybe some space being taken with a relative. I'm seeing a chapter just ending, just getting cut off, cord gone and done. And the Death card, I'm kind of feeling, is not necessarily like it's something that's ending because you're ending it. It's not a fight, it's not a controversy, it's not a scene, it's not a drama fest. But what's happening here, it's almost like this person is just bloop out of your life. And I don't see this in some kind of like tragic way. It's just really something where a person is sort of stepping out. And because it's the Death card upright, I'm going to say this may be somebody that you already suspect is already on their way out. Somebody quitting, stepping away, they've been kind of dangling for a little bit, or maybe this is just, you kind of knew the countdown started, you just didn't know how much was left. Well, this is all that's left, because with the Death card upright, we have a lift out, but remember, it's a natural end. This is something that's going in the proper flow of things. Please do not go and try to fight to hold it up. If this is a space that needs to be taken, or maybe a space that needs to be opened up for something that is a better fit, let it be there. For your relationships, the love, the romance, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse, and walls are coming down. As we always see with the Nine of Wands reversed, walls are coming down and gates are opening up. And I can't help but feel like this has absolutely to do with that Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun. Because with the Nine of Wands in reverse, people are not only defending information, they're not defending information anymore, essentially. That's what's going on. They're not defending information. They're not in a place of maybe esteem defense or ego defense. People are actually willing to be vulnerable. They're acting from a place of true trust, but also understanding where certain bits of armor and certain walls really have no place in the kind of connection that they want to have. It's a tough lesson to learn, but it is something that does need to be learned. And when it comes to a partner, or maybe somebody you're seeing, or maybe even somebody new if you're available, or maybe even somebody from that you've maybe entertained the idea of before, there is the erosion and dissolvement of some kind of, maybe it's not really a boundary, it's really more like a wall of 3-inch bulletproof glass that is getting taken down this week. And I feel like this is bringing in more intimacy, but it is also going to bring a lot of need to go back. Let's clear up the history, right? Yours and theirs. It's confession time. Yours and theirs. Nobody's allowed to have a power imbalance here. Walls are coming down, yours and theirs. Enjoy the vulnerability. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to go ahead and get a session with me, you do need to schedule it yourself at my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links below.